Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing, man? Antonelli here. Today, answering your questions. Today's question was on minor league baseball and if the players in minor league baseball are selfish, if they care more about themselves than the team, are they trying to win? Are they just trying to develop themselves and get to the major leagues? And so, I'm going to go back through kind of my time in the minor leagues, talk about the different levels, kind of the approach that most players took, and also the approach that the organization took. So here's basically how it went with regard to players and what they felt like towards winning. I think for most players, the main goal when you're in the minor leagues is to get to the major leagues. This is no secret, right? And it makes sense. No one's going to the minor leagues, getting drafted, signing a free agent deal, whatever, to go to the minor leagues and say, you know what? Like, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to win a Gulf Coast League championship. Like, nobody's saying that, okay? When you get to the playoffs, if you make the playoffs, then all of a sudden everyone transitions over to, hey, we're here, let's win a championship, right? And one of my favorite seasons was in Double A. We won the Texas League Championship. That playoff run was amazing, right? It was some of the most fun I've had playing baseball, the funnest baseball I had. And so, when you get there, when you get to the playoffs, guys say, let's freaking, all of a sudden it's like a switch flips and guys say, let's freaking win this thing, okay? But when you show up game one or you show up in spring training, no one's really saying that, so it's different. Most levels that you've probably played at beforehand, like when I played in college, it was about winning. When I played in high school, like I wanted to win a state championship. When I played in Little League, like I didn't really care as much about what I did as long as we won, right? I like Little League was probably the most, like, because I wanted to go to school the next day and rub it in my buddy's face that I just beat him. We just won a championship. So, it's not like that. Okay. Here's a few things. When you get to the minor leagues, I mean, the first thing they tell you is this is about development. This is about getting you to the major leagues. Like that's the number one thing that you usually hear. Now they don't say winning isn't important because they're trying to create and mold players to help their big league team win. And there's certain things that you're going to learn from winning in the minor leagues to hopefully help you win in the major league. So I'm not saying that that's not expressed from the teams or the front office or anything like that, but development is the number one thing because I was told a lot when I was in the minor leagues. You know, don't worry about the results. Don't worry about just we're going to work with you on this. Whether it's a hitting thing or a fielding thing or whatever. Hey, just work on being a better player and developing yourself. It's about development. Like, don't worry if you mess up. Just work on it. And so they're stressing all the time. Like the wins and losses aren't the end all be all. It's about getting better as a player. Okay, so I don't want to make it seem like it's just the players that are like, oh, screw everything. I just want to make it to the majors. I don't care about any of my teammates or winning or anything. I mean, the teams are stressing the development part of it and working on making yourself the best player possible. Depending on the level also, you'll see a little bit more of this. So when you start in the minor leagues and you're in the low minors, I think teams want to win, players want to probably win a little bit more because you just kind of came out of that atmosphere of trying to win, right? Whether you're a high school guy or a college guy. And so you really want to win, okay? That you've been taught that and doing that your whole life. And so I think there's more of that at the lower minor leagues. As you move up, it starts to really transition a little bit more to selfish baseball. Like for me, when I got to AAA, I wasn't as big a fan of AAA as I was of the lower teams, lower minor league teams, because in AAA, you get a lot of guys that are older. You get a lot of guys that have tasted the major leagues, right? Guys that have gone up, come down, gone up, come down. And so guys are a little bit more about themselves there. Guys are a little bit more whiny there. Everyone's a little bit more on edge, right? Guys, some guys are coming towards the end of their career and they're like, I got to get back to the major leagues. Some guys are there saying, I'm good enough to play in the major leagues. Why aren't I up in the major leagues? Like, why am I down here in AAA? The interesting thing about AAA is when you're moving up through the minors, when you get to AAA, AAA is like awesome because, every step along the way is a little bit better. the food gets a little bit better, the travel gets a little bit better, the baseball gets a little bit better, and you're getting closer to your ultimate goal, and so you're happy, right? You go to single A to double A, you're like, yes, double A is the best, I love it. You go from double A to triple A, yes, I love triple A, triple A is the best. You go from triple A to the major leagues, oh my lord, major leagues is amazing. You go from major leagues to triple A, you're like, this place sucks. I hate triple A, man. What the hell? Like, look at this food. How am I going to eat this food? Like, how am I going to travel on this bus today, right? Like, it's very interesting how all of a sudden triple A goes from being awesome to being terrible once you go to the major leagues. Major leagues kind of spoils you because everything in the major leagues is, amazing. And so I'm not saying all players do that, but it's funny to see a lot of players do that. They're super happy in AAA until they go to the major leagues and then come back and then they're miserable. And so AAA is a little bit different. Players, I think, are a little bit more about, I got to get back to the major leagues or I want to get there. And so it's a little bit less about the team, probably at that level than any other level. But hopefully that gives you some insight into what the players are thinking. Not every player is the same, obviously. Some guys want to win no matter what. Some guys never want to win, right? Some guys show up the very first day and they're like, screw you, man. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm competing with you. Like, get away from me. Some guys are like that. Some guys, like, I always felt it was very weird. Some of my best friends were always guys that played similar positions to me, right? And so, I just like I did in college or high school, whatever, I just was friends with everyone and said, like, yeah, we're all competing for, maybe one spot in the major leagues, but like, whoever's the best will get there. Like, whoever plays the best will get there. And so I would rather enjoy it, have fun, make friends, and be happy with the guys on my team. I'm going to be with them all year. And if I play better than them, I get called up, awesome. If they play better than me and they get called up, well, they deserve it, not me. So that's the way I always looked at it. But everyone's different. Everyone looks at it a little bit differently. So thank you again for this question. Hopefully it helps out. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comment section below. I'll try to keep answering questions for you guys. Definitely subscribe if you're not done so already. Share the video with all your friends. Like the channel or like the video. Give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Check out our Instagram, Antonelli Baseball, and our Twitter feed, Antonelli. I'm posting videos all the time for you guys. Check out the description box below where I've got links to a bunch of books I've been reading and also training tools we use with all of our players. Check out our website, AntonelliBaseball.com. You can find out more info on us and our teams and how to work with us and all that stuff. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.